Please welcome our hosts, Katie Vivas and Brandon Krekel.
Hi, I'm Katie Vivas.
And I'm Brandon Krekel.
And in the Zoom with us today, we have Laura Evans, who is the Business and Education Advisor with the Ewing Kauffman Foundation. Welcome, Laura.
Thanks. Great to be here.
Good to have you here. We're excited. I know we had a neighborhood networking with you last year, but we're excited to talk to you again. And we'd like to jump right in with, a little background about yourself. So if you don't mind starting there and maybe adding how you got involved with the Kauffman Foundation.
Sure. Thanks, Brandon. I haven't always been in the not-for-profit world. I actually spent most of my career in the healthcare technology industry, and a big chunk of it at Cerner Corporation here in Kansas City. And as a part of that work, I got to experience, kind of the rocket ship level growth that organization went through. And whenever you grow a company from 800 to, multiple thousands associates, it was 29,000 when I left. You think a lot about talent. Where's that talent going to come from? What kinds of skills do we need, both to meet the needs of our clients now, but to do the kinds of things we know we want to do in the future? And so that became an area that I became pretty experienced in, had a lot of passion for, and got to work with schools, universities first, then high schools, in my role there, and learned some things and saw an opportunity to come apply those regionally. And so that's what led me to Kauffman as part of the Real World Learning Initiative. And I like to think it's about unlocking the potential talent in our region for everyone's benefit, so that our community gets access to the experiences and skills they need, so that we have the talent that our companies and our entrepreneurs need, so that we can create a future for all of us to thrive. And it's been quite a ride, but it's work I'm honestly privileged to be a part of.
So tell us a little bit more about the Real World Learning Program. I have to really slow down to say that. My R's don't want to come through very well.
Yeah.
But just a little bit more about that, how you partner with the businesses in the community and how that essentially translates to just overall support of our Kansas City community and growth.
Sure, absolutely. We in the business community, before I ever came to the foundation, we're talking a lot about how do we work more closely with our education systems to help expose students to the kinds of work opportunities that exist, to make sure that they're getting the skills and knowledge that they need, recognizing that the world of work is changing rapidly and will continue to do so, and knowing that it's hard on the education side to stay abreast of all that and for students to appreciate that. We were asking, how can we be involved? And at the same time, the foundation was really looking at what can we learn about students who successfully land in a quality job? What about their educational experiences is maybe different than those who start down a post-secondary path but don't finish, or get a job but it's they're underemployed. And one of the things we learned is that what we call real world learning, these opportunities to really immerse yourself in work, make a big difference. And so from that learning together, we identified 4 categories of experiences that we believe every student across our region should have before they graduate from high school. We call these real world learning experiences. They're market value assets. They produce assets for students that the market values. And those include work experiences like internships and client projects, industry recognized credentials, 9 or more hours of post-secondary or college credit, and entrepreneurial experiences. We know that the future of work will be different, that many new jobs are created in the entrepreneurial and small business sector. And so we want to make sure students are getting those kinds of experiences. And we think by expanding their exposure in school, we can help them leave with the assets that they need and with greater understanding of who they are, what their interests are, and their skills, and how those intersect with the world of work, and then make better choices in terms of what they what degrees they pursue in college or what other paths they might take to get to their ultimate destination. And it's funny because I think we talk about it in terms of, you have a plan and you stick with that plan. And we know, I think most of us, that it's not that direct of a line. There's a lot of zigzagging. And so it's also about how do we help students understand that and know that every experience you have will teach you something that you can use to decide, what do I need to learn next?
Starts with how to adapt to a pandemic. I think that's your next goal.
Yeah, right. That's certainly been a wild card, a wrench in the plan. But what we feel most excited about, frankly, at the almost year mark for this pandemic, is that if anything, it has strengthened both the commitment of our employers and the commitment of our schools to make sure that students are getting access to real world learning opportunities as part of their education, and that they're given the opportunity to develop these skills that allow us to be adaptable and agile as the world changes.
It's going to be tough to say. So you mentioned real world learning.
Yep.
What are some real world examples of, I knocked it out of the park, Katie, of of students that have gone through this initiative, and what kind of jobs are they obtaining after their high school and college experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have all kinds of experiences that students get to take part in. And they're often at businesses, but they're also at not-for-profits. They're also at civic organizations. The Chamber will be hosting an intern this spring. We're super excited about that. I'll speak to some of the ones I was familiar with, even when I did this work before. We would invite students into our environment for 2 hours a day to be part of a team, and they would be assigned a project work as part of that team that allowed them to learn about how we capture data, how we analyze it, how we look for trends of customer needs, and then convert that into new products or solutions. We have students who are working with companies today to understand how they're perceived on social media, how they might be more effective in marketing their goods to different types of audiences. Obviously, social media is something that students know a lot about. So customer analysis, research around customers is a project that we have students involved in. And then we have students who do a variety of internships at different types of organizations based on the needs of that organization. And these are high school students. And I think one of the things that's the first myth that you have to bust in terms of real world learning and working with high schoolers is that they're not ready for real work. That's simply not true. And also that your managers, will find it more of a burden than an opportunity. In most cases, the organizations and employers that we're working with, they get really motivated by working with students, by seeing the contributions that they bring, and then by understanding how we being the professionals in that environment, can help them answer their questions, point them toward resources, help them explore their paths. So it ends up being a win-win. If we do it right, it's a win for students, it's a win for the employers, and it's also a win for the schools, because the schools are interested. They want to make sure students are leaving with skills and capabilities that they need. They want to weave more of that into their classes and their curriculum. But like all of us, there's only so many hours in the day. And unless you get exposed to that as part of your regular day, it's something that you have to commit to do outside of that. So that's one of the ways we think real world learning can be a real game changer.
Yeah, a learning opportunity and experience for everyone, not just the student, but for those that they're working with. So that's fantastic collaboration. I want to give you the opportunity to put in a plug of if there are businesses that are wanting to participate in this program and partner with you all, how would someone go about doing that?
Sure, absolutely. Well, you can always reach out to like Andrew at the chamber in the workforce space. Really, any chamber or business association should probably be aware of real world learning, and you can come to us at the foundation to start to get involved. But the way that really start, and you can go directly to a district too, I should say. We want to create lots of doors for those who are interested. But then we want to quickly understand for you as an employer, what are your priorities and needs? Because we want this to be a win-win. Are you looking to, for example, get access to more diverse talent? Well, we can think about what districts can we plug you into? What kind of work do you have available? We'll have a conversation like that. We also have some what you might call more of easy buttons that you can push, if you will, as an employer. So, for example, this summer, we will be partnering again. The Missouri Chamber has a great program that they have offered on the other side of the state for a while, and now they've expanded to include the Kansas City region. It's called the Show Me Careers Teacher Experience. So it's a mini externship opportunity for teachers. And it typically involves an employer committing 2 to 4 hours during the Show Me Careers Week to open their doors to teachers. The door opening was virtual last summer. It will likely be virtual this summer, we'll see. But that gives teachers a chance to get a peek into your world, to understand the work you do, the skills that are important to you, so that then they can think about how do they take that and bring that back into the classroom in some way. And so that's an easier way to step into it. There's also an opportunity if you're interested in just being accessible to students in classrooms in the region. We have a platform called the STEM Connector. It's available because of an intermediary in the region, Prep KC, who's worked with urban districts for years and years. And it allows professionals to zoom in to a classroom based on a teacher's request and share about what they do or about how their field matters in terms of math, all kinds of things. So there's a variety of ways. We have a website, of course, that I can make sure you guys have that you can point people to. But the important thing is to just get started and reach out and have a conversation with someone. We have a menu of options, and we can almost always find something that works for every business.
It's crazy how quick this goes. We warned you at the beginning, but we're at time already. But we do like to end with one question, the way we end all of these in the Zooms, and that is, what is one thing that you want people watching this show to know about either the Kauffman Foundation, or if that's too broad, then maybe just the Real World Learning Initiative?
That's a great question. I dislike having to say just one thing, but I will say it is that young people, students, are capable and want to be a part of something that matters. And real world learning opportunities give them a chance. They give them a chance to see how the contribution they can make in a very authentic way. And then that's the domino that puts a lot of other dominoes in motion in terms of them, being interested in learning more, caring and engaging more in their learning. And from an employer perspective, it lets us see what the potential does look like for the future. And that's pretty exciting. So sorry, that was a long-winded one thing, but.
No, that's a good one. That's a powerful takeaway. And we love hearing that. We are grateful for your time today with us, Laura, here in the Zoom. We are continually grateful for what the Ewing Kauffman Foundation is doing within our community and the support that you have of the chamber and the school systems and the difference that you're making in these young kids' lives. So thank you for your work in that and your efforts, and thank you for joining us today. And any way that we can continue to help and support your endeavors and your initiatives, we are happy to do so.
You will get those calls. So thank you. It's been fun. I appreciate it, and we appreciate the partnership.
Thanks, Laura.
All right. Take care, guys.